regarded as a hermeneutic process, as there is a continuous interplay between analysis and data collection, and hence, hermeneutics can be regarded as the method of producing and grasping meaning relations. Woduk, Meyer 2001, p. 16. 23. In conclusion, this thesis has its epistemological standpoint within the interpretive worldview of hermeneutics and social constructionism, meaning that our overall intent is to understand neuromarketing. The subjective interpretation of hermeneutics and social constructionism opposes the positivist principle, which holds that the purpose of science is to achieve ultimate truths and general laws based on observation and experiment. Damon, Holloway 2002, p. 273. However, as our subject area is neuromarketing, an area which draws greatly on the world of neuroscience and its scientists, it is important to supplement our interpretive worldview with that of the positivistic worldview, as we are operating within two contrasting science traditions. Bearing both the interpretive and positivist position in mind will enable us to better explore and grasp the viewpoints and arguments from all empirical evidence. 2.3 Positivism. Positivism is a direction within the philosophy of science, which aims to find general laws and regularities. It differs from the interpretive perspective in philosophical assumptions, beliefs about the nature of reality, and of what constitutes knowledge. Hudson, Ozen 1988, p. 508. Positivism claims that only two sources of knowledge exist, what we can derive from logic thinking and what we can observe with our senses. Damon, Holloway 2002, p. 273. Positivists claim that a single, objective reality exists, which is independent of what individuals may perceive, and thus, that the social world exists independently of individuals' perceptions of it. Hudson, Ozen 1988, p. 509. Advocacy for a positivistic social science began with Auguste Comte's series of text Cours de philosophie positive, Course of Positive Philosophy, written between 1830-1842, Turner 2001, p. 11,827. Key positivist ideas were that metaphysical speculations are pseudoscientific, that science is the highest form of knowledge, and that there is one scientific method common to all the sciences. Kincaid 1998. The aim of positivism is to create as valid knowledge as possible, and only knowledge derived from logic thinking and observations can be considered valid knowledge. Tor, Combining the Cute Accent, in 2009, p. 24. Positivist epistemology therefore holds that only knowledge derived from the above sources are to be considered valid. Intersubjective testability is a necessity for positivist 24 research to be considered valid, as this entails a description of the research methods, enabling other researchers to test the methods and the results generated herefrom. Fagel 1981, p. 369. Intersubjective testability is also termed reproducibility, Day 1998, p. X. Positivism is often closely related to quantitative research, as the aim is not context-rich interpretations but rather statistical analysis, with a focus on specific factors that are studied in relation to specific other factors. Damon, Holloway 2002, p. 8. Since logic thinking also includes maths, positivists should strive for quantifiable facts and statistical and systematic analysis, since this will allow for general conclusions, and thus valid knowledge and ultimate truths of the world. Tor, Combining the Cute Accent, in 2009, p. 19. The positivist stance insists on the principle that the nature of the world can be revealed by observation, and that what exists is what we perceive to exist, which is in stark contrast to the interpretive worldview. Burr 2003, p. 3. Positivism can therefore be an effective standpoint when setting out to explain facts. However, if the goal is to understand underlying causes behind the facts, positivism will not be of much use. Tor, Combining the Cute Accent, in 2009, pages 106-107. In order to gain an overview of the opposing perspectives, the below table has been included. 25. We acknowledge SMRW 2.4 Qualitative Research Ways of Seeking Knowledge ETH Table A summary of the POSITIVISD and Interpretive Approaches POSITIVISD and an APPROAC Ontological Assumptions Nature of Reality. All social sciences make ontological nature of reality and social bind to take a realist position, and as objective reality exists independent perceived. The social world, like T, exists independently of individual, real, concrete, and unchanging S as a structure composed of reality. This reality is divisible and FR precise, accurate measurements world are possible. Bagotzi 198 1979. Morgan and Smersage understanding of this reality may setting, where confounding vary. Calder, Phillips, and tie about 1 all inquiries may only approximate 2 ally all inquiries will converge reality. Ford, 1975, and others. Truth. The laboratory experiment about the nature of reality. Parts from their usual context and PLDings for observation. For X investigation might be the inflow of information on consumers' assumptions, ontological nature of reality, nature of social beings, axiological overriding goal, epistemological knowledge-generated view of causality, research relationship, positivist objective, tangible, single, fragmentable, divisible, deterministic, reactive, explanation, bias, assumption under general laws, prediction, non-authentic, time-free, context-independent, real causes exist, dualism, separation, privileged, point of observation, interpretive, socially constructed, multiple, holistic, contextual, voluntaristic, proactive, understanding, based on Verstehen and ideographic, time-bound, context-dependent, multiple, simultaneous, shaping, interactive, cooperative, no privilege, point of observation. Table 1. A summary of the positivist and interpretive approaches. Hudson, Ozan, 1988, p. 509. Their subsequent purchasing be not only the data gathering techniques, but also the research design, setting, subjects, analysis, reporting, and of information might be present the laboratory, and the researcher ECHRINC, TEPIA, RISTC, LDCSO, TFP epistemological assumptions of the perspective, keeping within our interpretive stance in the investigati, INOS at Rhode IVE, IBRTOFLULTOS describe the interpretive paradigm, although other labels in the laboratory experiment is UN.THRD. WECHOSEDHE LOT BELOF, NTRP REAP TIV TOIOR, L or TTI-tudinal responses. Bound, e.g., subjective, Rubinstein 1981, naturalistic can be taken out of their natura, Lincoln and Cuba 1985, qualitative, Van Manen, and the behavior that is display and aim of reaching an understanding of neuromarketing. Positivism will not be DABS, and Faulkner 1982, and humanistic, ACR correspond to the subjects via special session 1985. Positivist and interpretive text. Thus, it is assumed that T included as part of our scientific stance, but rather as an element of analysis incorporated are summary labels that refer to general research AP formation in the laboratory WEO and OFOUREYGI and goals. A number of positions can be loosely grouped the researcher to identify NPROC, ESTHATD, IFFER and THEIRP high low so PHI KILS MPTI on S behave in a natural T setting. Perspectives of the practice of neuromarketing. As we are not positivists, we can neither under positivism, logical positivism, the received view, ships while controlling for logical empiricism, modern empiricism, neo-positivism. In contrast, the interpretive test nor judge whether the claims put forward by our empirical data, from a positivist foundationalism, and objectivism. Likewise, the in-world exists. That is, reality's interpretive approach loosely captures a number of perceived individuals' creative point of view, are valid. However, we can judge the scientific standpoint, the approach to science, and positions, subjectivism, phenomenology, symbolic and categories, to help them Burrell and Morgan 1979. Restructured in that, all human K transmitted, and maintained in Jur and Luckman 1967, p. 3. Exist because of different perspectives. The interpretivist inquiry will converge on one ATO and Azam, hermeneutics, positivism WTHED that is presented, and so on. Within an interpretivism, a range of stances exists for each of the assumptions. In the first section of the article, the philosophical underpinnings of the two research AP proics are discussed. See the table. We emphasize how these philosophical assumptions translate into different ways of doing research within the two approaches. Interpretation is the primary approach to our empirical data and analysis. This makes, then, the range of positions within the interpretive AP multiple realities exist, and this approach is further discussed by comparing three specific. This approach also views these our overriding research method qualitative, meaning that our chosen theory and interpretive approaches list Ikali as more than the SUTRIG ISP Alta Arba and L viewpoints ADO and TH and ED 26 THGSTUO and 9 and 9 MXMHNTDVHHUSEKNTVLEN methods emphasize interpretation and understanding, rather than quantifiable data. Put in a simplistic way, qualitative research tends to be associated with words, whereas quantitative research is often linked to numbers. Researchers who adhere to the qualitative stance are often eager to investigate intentions, motivations and meanings, and are concerned with the social reality of the people involved. Damon, Holloway 2002, p. 4. As such, qualitative methods are well equipped to uncover and provide insights from various perspectives. op.cit. p. 1. This enables us, as researchers, to unmask the arguments and opinions surrounding a given subject from the viewpoint of those involved, in this case neuromarketing. This corresponds well with our research questions, as we specifically wish to explore neuromarketing from the perspective of the people involved in the practice, how they view it, describe it, and criticize it, keeping in mind that we are operating within a context-rich subject and that communication relationships are inseparable from the social and historical contexts in which they occur, and this is reflected in the contextualized nature of qualitative research. Damon, Holloway 2011, p. 6. We, as researchers and interpretive investigators, allow room for the context in which our empirical data is produced, that being marketing and neuroscience. The scope of qualitative research is able to embrace a mosaic of methodological choices and hereby to customize a study. This offers a flexible research setting open to potential multiplicity of interpretations, thereby allowing us to investigate our empirical data in a customized methodological approach, while striving to use multiple sources of evidence in order to fully grasp the field of neuromarketing. Yun 2011, p. 11. The focus of our research is of holistic nature, as we set out with an aim of reaching a rich, detailed, and holistic understanding of neuromarketing. Through a range of analyses and interconnected interpretations, we strive to uncover the multiplicity of dimensions within our multiple sources of empirical data. Damon, Holloway 2002, p. 6. In uncovering the characteristics of neuromarketing, this thesis will follow an inductive approach to research. This corresponds well with the fact that most qualitative research follows an inductive approach. Inductive research methods contrast with deductive 27 methods, as the two represent different approaches of shifting between data and concepts. Yun 2011, pages 93-94. A deductive approach is generally the process of drawing conclusions through logical reasoning in order to explain specific phenomena, whereas an inductive approach draws general conclusions from empirical evidence. Gowrie, Gronwald 2010, p. 15. Thus, within our thesis, qualitative analysis of the empirical data will help us reach a conclusion to our purpose statement. It is important to note that these general conclusions may not be 100% definite, as uncertainties are recognized. However, through analysis of versatile empirical data we are able to arrive at probable results, with an ambition of yielding a representative and trustworthy image of neuromarketing. 2.4.1 Sampling in qualitative research. Within qualitative research, the intention is rarely to arrive at statistically valid conclusions, but rather to gain insights and create understanding. Gowrie, Gronwald 2010, p. 148. Samples within this stance are often chosen in a deliberate manner known as purposive sampling. Yun 2011, p. 88. An underlying principle of gaining rich, in-depth information steer the sampling process of qualitative research, and samples of one or more units of analyses and observations are most often applied. This is done based on the purpose of the investigation and by selecting specific units of samples, which will produce the most relevant and plenteous data on a given topic. IBID. Hence the name purposive sampling. When choosing the samples, high priority should be given to units which will offer contrary perspectives or yield rival explanations and opinions, as this will allow for a favorable foundation for rich analysis. IBID. Thus, within this thesis, our analysis units have been chosen based on their ability to shed light on the subject area of neuromarketing, their different perspectives and opinions on the matter, as well as their diverse academic origin. This will be elaborated further in the Chapter 3, 28.2.5 Quality of View Analysis. When demonstrating their quality of research, researchers often refer to the concepts of reliability and validity. However, these terms stems from quantitative research and the realist worldview, and the value of these terms in a qualitative context is therefore widely disputed. Damon, Holloway 2002, p. 88. Hence, we will instead refer to the concepts of trustworthiness and authenticity in the evaluation of the quality of our analysis. This approach is guided by the interpretive worldview, and according to this, trustworthiness and authenticity are demonstrated by the researcher's documentation of the research process and the decisions made along the way. op.cit. Pages 90-93. Thus, the strive for trustworthiness and authenticity will be evident in laying out the research methods we intend to use, how we will use them, and how they will complement each other, whilst continuously connecting our empirical data and results to our sources, hereby ensuring that the applied strategies are appropriate, while demonstrating methodological transparency. Those positioned within a quantitative research tradition may accuse qualitative studies of being too subjective and vague. Damon, Holloway 2011, p. 10. However, By paying attention to the criteria of trustworthiness and authenticity, qualitative research may overcome this accusation, I admit. We will therefore focus on demonstrating both trustworthiness and authenticity throughout the course of our thesis.